Hello.
back to another episode of Love Letters to Broadway. My name's
Yay.
Michelle.
My name is Skylar. Yay.
Yay! And this is episode 9. And this is the podcast where we give you all of our Broadway tips, tricks, advice, and discuss our adventures as two best friends navigating the world of Broadway.
You believe next episode is going to be number 10?
That's crazy. It went
That's a
by very
milestone.
fast. It is a
Yep.
milestone. We should do something special for it.
Yep.
Maybe
Iconic.
maybe episode 10 could be like us playing some games or something. Like
Yeah,
maybe we mix it
definitely.
up.
We still have to rate musicals, like our favorite of all time.
Yeah, I want to do that. I also still am really into doing like a Halloween special.
Yeah, definitely.
So we got to talk a little bit more. But as you can tell, the two of us are really peppy today, and we are excited for today's podcast because today's topic is going to be reviewing the one, the only Hadestown.
Yeah, it's going to be a long one because we
It's
got
gonna
lots to say.
We got lots to say. This is one of Skylar's favorite musicals in particular, so it's going to be
Yeah.
a fun one. But before we get into that, we always start with our hyperfixation songs of the week.
Yeah, I feel like we're more peppy because we actually got sleep.
Yeah. Okay.
Last episode was
Actually,
3 hours of sleep.
actually, it's two things. One, that.
Yeah.
Two, I think we're very peppy because by the time you guys hear this podcast, we
Oh my
will have
God.
seen both Sunset Boulevard, which we've now bought tickets to,
Yeah.
as well as Moulin Rouge with Aaron Tveit, which,
Oh
as you
my
heard in the
God.
last podcast, Skylar was obsessed with us seeing him.
Literally
So,
stressed all week about getting tickets.
no joke. Every single day she was messaging me like every like hour, different screenshots of SeatGeek and the prices where we could sit.
Michelle's gonna have to carry me out of Moulin Rouge because I'm gonna be so unwell. I'm gonna be dead. I'm gonna be like, and especially if he stage doors, like I'm out. Like, don't even talk to me for a week. I'm gonna be
You're
gone.
gonna be a goner.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel very honored that I'm gonna get to witness your breakdown.
You're gonna have bruises all over your arms because I'm just gonna be hitting you. Like,
Yeah, this is what Skylar and I do during our show, like, because we don't want to like talk, we gotta be
yeah.
respectful. So instead, we just smack each other.
Or like during Outsiders, I think I grabbed your hand and just squeezed it. I was like, oh my
You
God.
did, you did. But I'm gonna listen. I think I'm just gonna be as unwell during Sunset Boulevard because
Oh
I,
yeah.
I was talking about that on last week's podcast that I really want to see Tom Francis.
Manifest that.
We manifested it and it came true. We bought tickets for both of these shows actually directly at the box offices, so there were no fees.
It was
Um,
great.
we got great seats, I believe, according to what they recommended, as well as looking online at aviewfrommyseat.com. I think we're gonna have the time of our lives this week.
Oh my
And
God,
I
it's gonna
think
be
we're
such a
both
great
gonna
week.
break down on different days for different reasons.
We're gonna try to take videos of us like before and after each show because
Mhm.
we're gonna be dead. Like literally dead.
I'm so excited. Like, I
It's
don't think
gonna be a
there's
great
enough
week.
words. We literally, like, all day today, we've been talking to each other, like, what do I wear?
You're less stressing. Like, I'm like, well, I'm coming from work, so like, do I have time to change or am I just gonna have to wear my work clothes? Like, what do I do?
Yeah, like, we're not even discussing the important things, like, are we gonna have time to eat dinner? No, we're
Yeah, no.
discussing how do we leave work, make sure we look good, and get to the show.
Yeah, there's no dinner. What?
Yeah, what's dinner? Who needs
Who
food?
needs food when you're seeing Tom Francis and Aaron Tveit in 1 week? Like what?
Okay, the only way to make
Okay.
this week even better is somehow if we got Outsiders tickets for one of the days.
Y'all manifesting that for Tuesday.
And I'm
Please.
manifesting it. And I'm manifesting that for your sake, we end up seeing Brody finally.
Yeah, could you imagine a week like that? I would be unwell.
I think the only thing to
Unwell.
make it worse would be if somehow we ran into Jamie Moscato randomly on the
Oh
street.
my God. Don't even excited. Yo, I'm so dead. We're so delulu. Like,
We really are.
I'm dead. I would pass out if I saw him. I'd be like, whoop.
Yeah. Listen, I don't know. I'm just really excited for this week. I think we're gonna have a really fun week.
Yeah.
We have that planned. We also have a really fun Sunday coming up. We're doing mani-pedis.
Yeah, look at
Like,
us. Like
like,
we're living the
like
dream.
living the dream, having some bonding time. But no, we needed an exciting week. Like, I mean, I know we
Yeah.
have to get back to the hyperfixation songs, but just quickly, we saw this week Left on 10th and Our Town.
The most depressing shows ever.
The two of us left. I mean, I don't even know if we're going to review them in the podcast or not, but they just were not what we were expecting for either show. I mean, and they both had their great moments,
Yeah,
but,
definitely.
and I mean, I think in between the two, I think I liked Our Town
Me
better
too.
than Left on 10, but, and it was really cool seeing like Jim Parsons and Katie Holmes, but no, just no. I,
Left on 10th was significantly like every disease, ailment that you could think of, they put into one show. Like, what the hell is going on?
It was just all over the place. And like it was just like every time you thought she was healed, like, okay, first of all, they advertised it as a rom-com, but then it ended up being about this woman with like a fatal illness who falls in love, which is like, I'm happy she fell in love, but then it was like every time you think she's better, it's like, boom, here you go, here's
No,
some more.
yeah, she was literally like fine, and then the next scene, it's back. What the
You're
hell?
like, what? And then the next scene, best friend has HIV. And
And
we
then
were
the
like,
dog dies.
the dog dying was like the worst part. I was like, what?
Oh, I was like, why? Why'd you have to do that? Like, why? I think I literally said that out loud. I was like, why'd you have to do that?
Literally,
We're
literally,
third
like,
row.
literally, the dog like comes on stage. She pets the dog
Oh,
after coming home from chemo. The dog runs off,
yeah.
and she goes, "Honey, honey."
The
That
dog
same
died.
week, Honey died.
It
We
was so
shouldn't be
funny.
laughing about this.
No, but it was so messed up. Like, I had my hands like over my face at one point. Or I was like, there's no way they're doing this. And then the neighbor has AIDS. Like, it was like
Oh my God.
non-stop. So we don't recommend you go see that.
No, don't believe the marketing. It is not a rom-com.
No, it's most
So
depressing.
the story is about this woman who helped assisted in the creating of a lot of the famous rom-com movies, like You Got Mail, Sleepless in Seattle. But it's not a rom-com. False
No.
advertising. So that was weird and
The funniest part is we were texting each other, oh, I'm so excited. Like, we're gonna go see a play. Like, this is so exciting. It looks so cute. Like, it's a nice rom-com. And then we're like, what the hell?
the two
What did
of
we
us,
just do to ourselves?
we were just like, I wish someone filmed us. Our jaws were just like on the floor, like, what is going on? And also, I just want to add, we were also by far the youngest people in that audience. The
Literally.
audience was like all like 75 to
Yeah.
90-year-old women.
We're like, the faces we were making at each other when something would happen, be like, what the hell? Like, and we're second row, right? We were second row. It's like, what is going on?
I actually felt like we were on Punked.
Yeah. Yes. Where are the cameras?
So yeah, that was an interesting start of the week. And then
Yeah.
Our Town, Act One, fantastic.
I love that.
Act
It was
Two,
cute.
very cute. They get married, very cute.
Very
Act th
demure.
Very demure, very Act
At
Three,
three.
what the Fuck?
Here comes the headstones.
I feel so loopy today. Like literally, it was like talking headstones.
ourselves for seeing a play, not a musical too.
Yeah, because like I think we've spoken about this before. Like we're really musical people. We're not really play
Yeah,
people. And the two of us are now like, we've had enough
I
for a
think we're good for the
while.
year. So yeah,
Literally,
that was
it
our
was
Saturday.
like, oh my God, I like can't breathe. It was a week. But you know what? We did get some good moments out of it. We did see Tom Francis sing Sunset Boulevard and Schubert Alley
And we saw Josh Strobel walking past.
and Joy Woods,
And Joy Woods.
which was crazy. And the guy, I don't remember his name, the one who plays Middle Noah, also walked
Oh,
by.
yes. Yeah, we saw a lot of people. That was interesting. That was a good moment.
So that was interesting. And then we did, I mean, the day we went in for our town, we did have a fun day.
Yeah, of course. We got Ichiran.
Oh my God. Okay. Any of you listening to the podcast, if you need a recommendation on a place to go eat in the city, you go to Ichiran on 49th Street. It is the best ramen you will ever eat in your life.
I inhaled that. Inhaled. Literally
I hailed it.
delicious.
I love it. I get the regular version. Skylar gets the vegetarian one,
Mm.
and they're good.
10 out of 10.
It's a 10
But yeah,
out of 10.
I guess we should go back to hyperfixation songs. Rewind.
Yes. Do you want to go first?
Um, sure.
Okay.
Okay. So we go three, two, one, and usually it can be predictable. I feel like this week I might be a little predictable, but
Mm-hmm.
we'll see. So on my third spot is Our Love Is God from Heathers, but the West End Heathers because my man's Jamie. So
Interesting.
good. I don't
Hmm.
know. I've been replaying it over and over again. Um, yeah, that's really his voice gets me. Um,
Um, I really hope that, I mean, I know we've said this in the past, but I really hope that when Heathers comes back to New York, it's the West End version.
it really should be. I feel like it was very successful in the West End.
Mm-hmm.
So if they transfer that, I feel like they would have a high success rate here. I mean, either way, I think it's gonna be successful because everybody's been talking about Heathers recently.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see what it's like. And we are going as soon as we can when
Yeah,
they announce.
sorry for clearing my voice right there. I don't know, I'm losing my voice now. After laughing so hard, you
No, it's fine. I feel the same thing. I'm like trying to catch my breath.
hear? Yeah, sorry. My voice sounds weird. Um,
We've been very giggly in general, like the last couple of days.
a wee bit Delulu.
I
Just
think
a
we
wee
are a
bit.
bit delulu this week.
I have the funniest blooper coming out soon on TikTok.
We were in the car trying to record our vlog, and
And I was
I
on
just
like a level 0 because if I'm being honest with you, I had too many glasses of wine the night before. We went, so I was a little unwell the next morning. So I was on a 0. And
and
Michelle was on a 10.
yeah, like I woke up. Was it yesterday? It was yesterday, right?
Yeah.
I woke up so like the Lulu Peppy fairy mode activated, and on the way into the city, Skylar and I got coffee. So even though mine was decaf, it only made it worse. And no,
It
but
was decaf.
it was decaf, but at the same time, it was a Coca Mocha signature latte from Dunkin'. So I was on like a sugar fiend. And every time Skylar tried to record the vlog, I would say hello in like the weirdest way.
It was so funny. And I was so like deadpan because I was so dead to the world. So stay tuned because that was really funny.
Oh my God, I can't breathe. This is gonna, I don't know how we're gonna keep recording. I
I
cannot breathe
know.
right now.
It was
Okay,
iconic. All right, so
Taylor, where
our
are
love is
you?
God because my love is God. No, I don't know.
Mhm.
Two is Chandelier from Mulan.
Interesting.
I've been
Interesting.
really,
Interesting.
obviously, I've been listening to it a lot more because, well, now we're officially going.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. I just, whatever song he's in, I'm listening to.
Hmm. No, that's a great one.
Um,
I love the like the big ending. That one always
yeah,
gets me. And then the way it melds perfectly into Roxanne when you're listening to the cast album in order.
right? Because
It's
Roxanne is iconic, but
yeah.
I'm gonna be so unwell. So
If he does
unwell.
the opt up,
I'm
you're gonna like
gonna
faint
pass
in the
out.
audience. I'm gonna have to revive you. I gotta bring some smelling salts.
That's a great idea. I'm gonna be dead. I'm gonna be dead. And then number one, I guess let's make a fun game. Could you guess what it is?
Roxanne, but the Jamie Moscato version.
No.
Okay, and I want another guess.
Okay. That was a good one though.
Throwing in the towel.
Yeah.
What's funny is last week I guessed throwing in the towel and it was Roxanne. This time I guess
This week
Roxanne and it's throwing in the
on the
towel.
towel. But specifically, I've been listening to the Good Morning America version.
What? Random. Okay. I love that like when I listen to music, I listen to it like on Apple Music, the cast
Mhm.
album. When you listen to music, you're listening to videos. Like you're always
Oh,
like, oh, so I'm listening to this slime tutorial on repeat. I'm listening to this Good Morning America version on repeat.
literally, like I'm showing you all my YouTube is. And today I went for a walk. Like
Hmm.
literally, I have The Outsiders, Good Morning America, and the Tony Awards. I'll just listen to that. Don't know why, but I was going for a walk and I had my YouTube open. I'm like, everyone probably is like, what is she doing? Just like
Like
walking with
were you
YouTube,
watching it or you're just listening to it?
just listening to it, but like walking with it like out. And just,
I think there are ways to strip the audio and save it on your phone.
ooh.
I had to do it when like back in high school when I was in journalism class, we had to do that all the time. Like you strip the audio from the video.
Oh,
I can help you with that.
that would be great. I don't know, I like live stuff. Like even like
Hmm.
I was driving actually last night. I was driving home and I go on TikTok sometimes and like listen to like the slime tutorials or the live versions of
Hmm.
the songs. I don't know why, but to me it's better than
Yeah.
the cast albums.
No, I understand that because I feel like there's a different level when they're doing it for a live audience. Like certain
Right?
even like certain words are sung differently. It's like different levels of emotion.
Yeah,
I agree with
definitely.
you. I like that.
Yeah, so that's my new thing. But yeah, throwing in the towel. I mean, it's never not iconic.
I want to hear it again.
Me too. It's time. Once a
It's
month.
time.
Like,
Once
period.
a month is like a little thick, but it's worth it.
It's, you know what?
If we get a good deal, I mean, we actually, in all honesty, the two of us were thinking about going again this past weekend,
Hmm.
but we really want to try to time it out where, I mean, we love seeing Trevor as Pony Boy. But like, for example, I've seen him now 3 times as Pony Boy. Like, I would like to try to time it where we get to see Josh or maybe Brody.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
and you saw him twice.
Yeah. It's just, he's been out for 2 weeks now, Brody, so I don't know. I hope he's okay.
Hmm.
Um,
I I get a weird feeling like a new casting is going to be announced some point soon.
did we even talk about when we went to see it last time that Brody was in the theater, but Trevor was playing Ponyboy?
No, I don't think we mentioned that. Yeah, so the very last time we saw Outsiders, we were sitting in the orchestra and we actually were sitting towards like the left side, kind of right where whoever's playing Pony Boy that day comes out from backstage and walks like towards the back of the audience before they come down the aisle, like kind of like right by like the inner stage door. And we were talking to this other kid in the audience, and why am I saying kid? He was like a grown man. Why am I saying kid? Whatever. We
Because
were
he
talking
was,
to this,
yeah.
I don't know. We were talking to this guy in the audience, and he was also a big fan of the show, and we were chatting about seeing in the past. And I believe he said he saw two before, but he also never saw Brody. And all of a sudden, he looks to the left of us, and he's like, "Holy, oh my God, there he is." We were like, "What?" So I quickly look, and you see Brody walking out that door,
Mhm.
walking up to stand in the back of the theater. And meanwhile, like Trevor's already sitting on stage, and the three of us all looked at each other and we were like, it's one thing if he's out just because he's out, but he was out but still in the theater, like literally in the back. Like it was strange to us. It was just
Yeah.
like it made it more annoying because it was like he's literally right there, and like none of us had had an opportunity to see him before.
Yeah. And again, it's not saying that we don't want to see Trevor. But it was
No,
just
we
like,
do. We do. We really love watching Trevor as Pony
yeah,
Boy. I feel like he's my pony.
exactly.
Like, I feel like everyone has like a Pony Boy that they prefer, but everyone is great. Trevor's my Pony Boy. But
Yeah, because he's the only one we've gotten to see. But
well, yeah, but even like just from slime tutorials and stuff, I feel like he's my Pony Boy. The same way I think Brody is yours, even though we haven't seen him, but you love him in general and like the videos we've seen and stuff.
yeah, I just think that bothered me a lot. And it made me like sad. So I was like, dang, we were so close.
Yeah.
I don't know. But either way, it was still incredible. I mean, Trevor is amazing.
Yeah. And
He's so sweet.
I would like to see Josh also.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, like, especially like you were saying, Trevor is really sweet. Like, I mean, I'm sure most of you guys who are listening to the podcast saw the video we posted on TikTok and Instagram of like Trevor giving the podcast a shout out. Like, he was so sweet. Like, we had a long conversation with him about the
Hmm.
podcast, and like, he really wanted to like learn more about it. And the conversation meant a lot to us. So I feel like that conversation holds a special place in here.
No, definitely. He was so sweet. So
Very
sweet.
warm, very warm.
Yeah, you could tell he's extremely grateful.
Yeah. Which I like because I feel like sometimes like I don't know, with some Broadway performers you can't tell if they are.
Hmm. And they
But
complain about whatever, but
yeah.
he seems to like genuinely feel grateful, and that's amazing to see.
Yeah. It's very sweet.
Yeah, so your turn.
Okay. Back to the hyperfixation songs. So, starting with number three. Number three is a wild card choice that I feel like you're not gonna expect.
Oh,
I've
snap.
recently gotten back into the Shucked album. So the song that I'm doing is I Do from Shucked.
Oh, I love Shucked.
I
Yeah,
do
I'm gonna listen to
too.
that tomorrow. I'm putting that on my list.
It's so good. I am so sad that it closed, and it should have never closed. I mean, now they're doing the tour. They've announced the cast already, but like I looked it up, the tour is not coming near us.
Darn. You know what's
So,
weird? Look what I have right next to me to wear to the gym tomorrow.
oh my God, our Shuck shirts.
I wore it last week and I
Mm,
changed at work because I go from work right there.
mm.
And everybody was reading and they're like, I got shucked? What the heck? I was like, yeah, it's a great show. That's funny though.
One of the best shows.
We had
I
so much fun.
wish I wish it was still up. It was like one of the best experiences we've had.
We won the lottery for that.
We won
But
the
you did.
lottery.
And I told everybody.
We won the lottery for that. We stage doored. We had amazing orchestra seats.
Yeah,
It was it was so good. One of the best
low
days, I
key.
think. We even dressed like country folk. We were in our full-on jean attires.
Yeah, my denim jumpsuit. Yeah, that was fun. That was
Uh-huh.
fun. That was a
That
good
was a great
day.
day. So that's number three. Number two is It's My Life from Anne Juliet. It will always be my favorite song from the show. Um,
What version?
Skylar. Okay, to be honest, my favorite version of it is the Jordan Luke Gage version, but
Hmm.
I've also really I also lead. That's not even a word.
Also, also,
I
that's a good
have
word.
also
Good job
recently.
talking. Good job talking.
Thank you, thank you. Let me give you a little bow. Let me give you a little bow. You didn't know I was creating a new word for the dictionary? I didn't
Oh
tell
my
you.
God, that's great.
Also, Lee. That's my new
Also,
word. So, and put that on our merchandise. Absolutely.
that's a good one.
That's a good one. In addition to iconic, I cannot talk today. I'm sorry. So I'm too giggly. I also really like the Tom Francis version.
Hmm.
I saw a little slime tutorial on TikTok.
A little slime tutorial.
But I love that version because he just has that like rock voice. I don't know why I like that.
Yo, man.
I'm having a day.
It's been a day.
Um, but yeah. So speaking of Tom Francis, number one is him singing Sunset Boulevard from Sunset
I
Boulevard.
knew it. We literally, how many times did we listen to it yesterday?
I love it so much. It's
So
just so
good.
catchy. But I also like I love the way I can't even talk.
Because you keep thinking about it.
Yeah. But I love the way he goes Sunset Boulevard. It's the
It's so good.
boulevard. It gets me Sunset Boulevard, Red Light Boulevard.
Boulevard for me.
Boulevard for me.
That's like a meme. We should make that.
Oh my God. Okay, we're gonna do that. We have to do it before the podcast come out so no one steals it.
Okay, write it down. Or text it to me. I'll
Pencil,
text it to you.
pencil.
I'll
I'm
text it to you.
texting you right now. I'm doing it
Okay.
right now. It's the boulevard for me. Send.
Thank you. We'll make that tonight.
Um, but yeah, that one, that's my
I can't
top
wait
song for the
to
week.
hear it live.
You don't understand, Skylar. I'm gonna be really unwell tomorrow. And like I'm gonna be just like you are gonna be on Thursday.
The
I'm gonna be
end.
shaking. I'm gonna be
Shake it.
shaking. I was already shaking when we bought the tickets to the point that I dripped my hot chocolate all over my
It's gonna be so much fun.
literally we were about to go buy the tickets and I bought a hot chocolate and boom, spilled it everywhere.
I'm just so excited.
My eyes are tearing. I cannot wait for tomorrow. Like
I know, I'm so
my all my
excited.
dreams are going to be fulfilled. Well, not all my dreams, but a big one.
Some of them.
A good one. A good
A good
one.
one. A good one.
So yeah, so those are our hyperfixation songs of the week. We finally got through it. It only took us like 20-30 minutes.
Oh my God. Yeah, we got sidetracked. It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. So now moving on to some big Broadway news of the week.
Oh yeah. So, the Paper Mill Playhouse. Paper Mill Playhouse is gonna have Jersey
I
Boys.
think it's gonna be great. It's starring Amber Ardolino and Danny Quadrino.
Yeah.
I kind of am tempted for us to make the trip and see it.
Where exactly is that? In
Jersey.
Jersey? Oh, that's not too bad.
No, it's actually not that far. I think it's like maybe 30 minutes
Two.
outside of the city, for an hour. I have
I
to look
would
it up.
consider it.
Yeah, I
I've
feel
never
like we
seen
would
Jersey
enjoy it.
Boys live.
Never?
No.
Oh, okay. Maybe we need to go. Well, it still is, but it's like one of my top shows. I mean, is it in my top five? No, but like that's a show that I always will love because the music is so great. Like I saw it, I believe, twice when it was on Broadway.
The Theater by Me is doing it this season too.
Oh, so maybe we just go see it there then.
Well, we could do both.
Yeah, compare and contrast.
Exactly.
So that's some big news for the week. Some also really big news is that some rehearsal footage was released from like press day for the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, which is going to be at the Kennedy Center. And the cast
Oh
is
my
like
God.
stacked. Kevin McHale as
Mhm.
Barfy, or Barfay. Um, what's his name? Noah Galvin is gonna be in it as Leaf. Beanie Feldstein's in it.
Like what? This
The
cast is insane.
the cast is stacked. And my favorite footage so far is Kevin McHale singing Magic Foot. It is so good.
Yeah,
And like I
perfect.
saw people in the comments were saying like, "Oh, I didn't think he was going to be good at this. I didn't expect this from him." Like, but like, I feel like his background is like theater, and he said for a while now he's really been wanting to get more into performing, and like he really embraces the character.
He
Um,
did a great job from what we
yeah.
saw.
I wish we could get down to Washington to see it. Like I want to see it.
I know. It's just we'll have to look into it, definitely.
Yeah.
How long
That's a
does it
schlep. I mean,
run?
that's a trip.
Yeah. And is it a long run?
I don't know. We have to look. A lot of people are
Yeah.
commenting and saying that they hope it transfers to Broadway, which sometimes things do transfer from the Kennedy Center. So I'm curious to see if that happens.
That would be great, especially that cast. Holy moly.
Yeah. So that's new this week. Some other big Broadway news is that the Playbill retro playbills have come out. So Playbill has released these four special playbills that are in honor of their 140th anniversary, which is this October. And each of the playbills, which you can get at each of the shows, is designed based on some famous old playbill covers. So it's either 1934's Merrily We Roll Along, 1955's Damn Yankees, 1966 Maine, or 1973's A Little Night Music. When we went to our town, which was the one that we got this week?
Um, that's a good question.
I have the
It
Our
has
Town
the
playbill in the other
four on
room.
the top. It has the pictures of them on the top and the bottom.
I think that's the one designed after me.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm looking at the combo. I really want us to try to get a few more of these. Like I really want to collect them.
Those are really awesome. Like if you look at
Hmm.
Hadestown and the Outsiders ones too, like they're really
Yeah.
cool. I wonder which ones we'll get a Mulan.
Oh, Mulan and tomorrow
Oh,
at Sunset
oh
Boulevard.
yeah. I'm excited.
I also feel like these playbills, like if they're on sale next year at the Broadway Flea Market, I feel like they're going to go for a lot of money, especially for the big
Oh,
playbill
definitely.
collectors.
Definitely. They're really cool.
Hmm. And it's always
Yeah.
like a random selection which one you're going to get. So,
Yeah, it gives you like a new, I don't know, something new to look forward to,
it spices
which
it
is
up a little
cool.
bit.
So another thing is there's an online petition that was created because some theaters said they were going to dim their lights for Gavin Creel, but he was in a lot of Broadway shows and he kind of shaped the Broadway community. So there's an online petition going to get more theaters, which I agree wholeheartedly. I feel like it should be a bigger thing.
I don't understand why it's not that all the theaters do it automatically.
I don't either, and I feel like they should all just do it at the same time.
Yeah.
And like, because I
All,
know today Mulan is doing it, the Al Hirsch.
oh, they are.
Yeah.
Also, I saw what's it called? Book of Mormon's theater, the Eugene O'Neill. They
Hmm.
posted because they had there was an announcement made of all the theaters that were doing it, and they were not included. And they were doing
Wow.
it because he was in Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
So they were really upset that they were not included in the posting, and they were like, "We want to make it clear we are dimming our lights." He was in our tour. I believe he was in the Broadway version as well. I think he was also in the West End.
Maybe,
Um,
yeah. I
so
think
they were
what's
like, "Of course we'd be doing it."
Yeah, and I think what's important to know is he was like generational. Like you have people who are maybe a little bit older who know him in the Broadway community and loved him, and then you have people like our age he
Hmm.
was what we grew up with, and we
Yeah.
saw him, and I think there should be more of a tribute. I'm a little disappointed in the fact that they had to create an online petition instead of it just already being a thing.
it should have already been a thing. It's very strange to me.
Because he was in a lot of shows on Broadway.
He was in a lot of shows, and I think he meant a lot to a lot of people. And also,
Yeah,
what really means a lot to me, like all of these other Broadway performers are coming out, and they're all saying he was one of the nicest people
yeah.
to work with. And
All
it's
the
like, don't you
tributes
want to
are
honor
insane.
those type of people? Like, and
Yeah.
and I mean, and the way he passed away, it was like it's so horrific, such a young
Hmm.
age. It's weird to me that there's a petition and
Yeah, it
that it's
should
not just
already be a
happening.
thing. Yeah, it's very sad. So I think what's really important as like we navigate this extreme loss is like everyone to keep saying his name, keep sharing videos, keep his name alive. And that could be our tribute to him.
I agree 100%. And I think that's a beautiful way to put it.
Because it's very sad.
It's a horrible situation.
That's how we could, continue to pay tribute
Hmm.
to him.
Hmm.
So yeah, some moving on to something very random that I saw, but I think it's kind of cool. Reeve Carney is doing a one-man show for Rocky Horror.
Really? I haven't heard anything about that.
I saw it on Playbill and I was like, what the heck? That seems really cool.
Well, he was
Um,
in the live action, well, not live
yeah,
action, but movie version, whatever it was. I don't think it was performed live, but
he's gonna do it at the Green Room 42.
that should be interesting.
Kind of curious. I love Rocky Horror.
I'm sure we'll find clips of it online. I'm sure people are going to post stuff.
Oh, 100%. But I was like, that's so random, but I wanted to like include it because if anybody's looking for something to do for Halloween, I
It's a
mean
good
it's October
option.
25th, but some something exciting to do.
Hmm.
So that was
Some
interesting.
other news that's been going on is there's a lot of opportunities recently to see some big RuPaul Drag Race stars.
Yeah,
Um, for example, there's now Drag the Musical in the city, which is starring like Alaska, Jansport. I heard it's supposed to be really good, and Skylar and
yeah.
I definitely have it on our list to see.
Yes, definitely.
And then also Jinx and Ben de la Creme recently performed some sort of like musical theater parody in their Jinx and Dela holiday show tour. Um,
Yeah.
so that's interesting as well. So if you're a big fan of RuPaul's Drag Race, there's a lot of opportunities right now to see some of these performers out on the road or right here in New York City.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's something new too, which I'm excited. I
Hmm.
want to see the uh oh my gosh, why did my brain just went
Drag the
yeah,
musical.
Drag the Musical. I want to see it really badly. My sister
Hmm.
actually saw it last week and she said it was incredible. She was like, it was fun, but also like very meaningful. So I'm excited to see it.
Do you know, like, does it have an actual storyline? Is it more like you're going to a drag show? Like, is it a musical?
I don't know, I didn't ask those questions. I should have.
And you know what? It's better. We'll go and be
I
with being
like, yeah,
surprised.
that's what I was thinking. But yeah, and then the big gay jamboree opened off Broadway on October 6th.
So far, I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, I definitely want to see that too. The late shows, isn't it like 9 p.m.?
It is. We were actually looking to try and maybe get last minute tickets yesterday, but we were just like, it's
We're
too
too
late.
tired.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to see that too. So if we could figure that out, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
So, I mean, that's really the big Broadway news so far of the week.
yeah,
I guess just also kind of like to kind of update you guys on where we're at with lotteries and stuff. We're trying to enter for anything and everything, but we did,
hmm
as we mentioned, we won Our Town this week. We won Left on 10th this week. But we're still entered for pretty much everything. We've now started entering for like Romeo and Juliet. Um,
yeah.
what else have we entered for that's like newer coming to Broadway?
Um, uh, very no,
Mer
a happy.
maybe happy ending.
Oh
You
my
do this every
God.
time.
Every time I want to say very happy ending. Every time. Yeah, we entered that, which was interesting because telecharge, it was like for weeks. They
Did
had
they
it
do the
already.
drawings?
No, I think it's this week they'll do it.
Okay.
So that's another one. We try McNeil, but like honestly, I don't know if I want to see it because it got such bad reviews.
Yeah,
Um,
I want to go only really for Robert Downey Jr.
yeah.
I'm a big
Um,
Marvel fan.
yeah. It got really bad reviews though, which is
I
shocking.
know, I know. I heard it's like really not a good show.
Yeah.
Um, I really want to see Death Becomes Her when it comes out this month. I want to see if we
Yes.
could get in to go like Halloween week.
Yeah, I want to see Tammy Faye too.
Yeah, I want to see that. I want to see Louis Armstrong when that opens.
Yeah, so there's a lot of new shows. Like I can't wait. I'm so excited for this season.
It's gonna be a good season. And this is only the fall. Then we got so
Yeah,
much coming out in the spring too. We also have Gypsy about to come out.
I can't wait. I can't wait for
It's gonna
that.
be great. I feel like that one's gonna be a hard lottery win though.
Yeah, we might have to try to get tickets.
So I guess we should kind of get into our big review of the day.
It's a big one. It's a bigger one. It's a big one.
It's a big one because we have a lot to say, and it's such a good musical. But today's big review is Hadestown. Before we get into the reviews, just to kind of talk about what we do. So we have it broken down into different categories where we rank on a scale of 1 out of 10, and then we kind of add up all the scores for each category and see what our final ratings are. And we do it for each of us individually. So the
Mm.
categories are costumes, set designs, songs and music, choreography, the book, ambiance slash crowd control, casting choices, acting pacing, and then the last one we do is talk about theater bathrooms, which we don't actually rank, but we like to little discuss a little bit. It's
Yeah, it's
important.
important. Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm gonna turn it over to Skylar to summarize what the show is about because this is your baby.
Yeah, it's become like a really important musical to me. So Hadestown. It follows the love story of Eurydice and Orpheus. It follows when they originally meet, but it's also follows really big Greek mythology figures. So you have Hermes, you have Persephone, and you have Hades, and you also have Persephone and Hades love story. Persephone is the goddess of seasons. She brings the hotter weather, and she helps the flowers bloom when she's not up in the world. Um, you get really cold weather when she gets taken by Hades back to the underworld. So it follows this poor girl who is cold, hungry, and then she meets Orpheus, and his main goal is to finish a song because that song will hopefully make the world what it's supposed to be again. Don't want to tell you exactly what because it kind of spoils it, what the song, you know, creates. But and then it follows, because it is a Greek mythology, there's always a lesson. And again, I don't want to spoil it, and I'm having a hard time summarizing without saying it, so I'm not going to say what the big lesson is, but yeah, that's kind of the overview without spoiling it at all.
Well done.
Yeah, because I feel like if I like talk about it more, I'm gonna literally spoil the whole thing.
No, we can't.
Yeah, so it's a great musical. It follows two separate love stories. It follows Orpheus, who is a poor boy too, who loses his parents, and he's kind of under the wing of Hermes, and she kind of guides him into talking to Eurydice and then ultimately falling in love with her. And this poor girl kind of gives everything to him.
Hmm.
It's a beautiful story.
It
That's my
really
summary.
is. I think it's a great summary. So, starting off with the theater bathrooms,
Let me think.
I know I was trying to think through. I don't know if I re really remember their bathrooms too much.
I think it was good.
I think they were good. I think they were cozy.
Yeah. The Our Town bathrooms were thumbs down.
Oh,
These were
absolutely a
good.
thumbs down.
Yeah, these were good. I didn't have any
The
complaints.
left on 10th bathroom was fantastic.
Beautiful. Those were great. Hadestown, I think it was good. I don't
Yeah.
remember being annoyed.
Yeah, so I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, so we're good with bathrooms. Good job, Hadestown.
Very good job.
Okay, so what's important to know is that this time we saw it, we sat second row.
Yeah, the first time we went, we were first row in the balcony and we literally couldn't. I thought I was gonna pass out the whole time. I was really dizzy and uncomfortable. I don't like heights.
Yeah, so we really like I felt like I was in the show. Like after it, I looked at Michelle, I was like, this is my favorite show. Like it just like it
Hmm.
didn't surpass like my ultimate, but I was like, this just like got up there. Like I felt like I was on the stage with them experiencing all the emotions that they were experiencing.
Yeah, it was like you felt like you were part of the show.
Yeah, it was
And they
amazing.
even like made sure to look at the audience and kind of like interact a bit. Like it was really beautiful the way it was done.
Yeah, it was really cool.
But I guess starting with the first real category, because
Mhm.
theater bathrooms is just a little honorary mention. So costumes. There aren't too many costumes in the show. Like the
I
characters
would
don't really change.
disagree. Persephone.
Persephone
She has
changes.
she has that green dress, and then she goes into the black dress, which I think is such an important character development and why she goes from like this bright and sunny dress, and then Hades comes to get her early, and so
Hmm.
she's in all black, and it kind of shows.
Oh.
Yeah, so that was important. Eurydice has a costume change too, which is important because when she
Hmm.
gets, again, kind of spoilers, but when she decides to go to the underworld with Hades, she changes into the overalls. And the
Hmm.
workers too. In the beginning, they're wearing, like jeans and like oversized clothes, whatever. And then
But
they
I
too get changed into overalls.
but I think the ensemble only changes because they're supposed to be kind of playing different characters in the underworld.
Yeah, um,
Hermes
that,
doesn't change. Her only difference is that in Act 1 she wears like the overcoat, and in Act 2 she comes out on stage without it.
yeah,
Orpheus never changes.
Orpheus never changes. I think the important ones is Eurydice and Persephone. And I would say Persephone's dress is absolutely beautiful, like the green one, but even the black too, it has like some detailing that I
Hmm.
think is really pretty.
It
And I
does.
love Hades' costume too. I like the stripes because I feel like they could have went all black, but I like that they gave him some pizzazz with the stripes.
Hmm. They almost made him look like a snazzy pimp businessman.
Yeah, like love it. Love it.
I did think the costumes like were beautiful. Like I loved Stephanie Mill's costume as Hermes. I
Yeah, what's
thought the sequin
important?
on her top was gorgeous.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention is Hermes is in the Greek mythology, he's a man.
Hmm.
So they transformed it into a woman, Mrs. Hermes.
Hmm.
So it's really cool to see how also because in the beginning of Hadestown, when it first came to Broadway, they had Hermes as a man. So
You know,
seeing that costume compared to hers, love it.
and you know what's also interesting? The tour just started for Hadestown. I believe it's the second national, and they changed it again, where now it's not a Mr. Hermes or a Mrs. Hermes, it's just Hermes. Like they got rid of any sort of gender for the character.
Okay, that's good. That's
Hmm.
cool. Yeah, I definitely think I love the costumes. I also like how Hermes had a little bit of gray in her hair too, maybe less
Hmm.
strips. So I would rate it a 9.
Okay. I think for me, I don't know. I don't know if I would rate it as high. I mean, I think they're beautifully like they're intricate, but at the same time, they're I don't know. I like to see a little bit more like I guess pizzazz when it
Hmm.
comes to costumes. Like maybe I would have liked a little bit more changes, but also I do feel like for the story, the costumes were like the right fit. I thought
Hmm.
one of my favorite costumes were actually the costumes of the Fates because every single one is different to show their differentiality, but also they have like little details that kind of link them together.
Yeah.
So they were actually one of my favorite costumes. I think for me, I'm gonna give costumes an 8.
Good. Yeah.
Set design. Okay, speaking of set design, when we sat in the balcony, we didn't realize, well, Skylar realized it, but I didn't because she had seen it before, that there was a whole piece of the set that you physically cannot see from the balcony. There's a huge set
Yeah.
change. And I saw it when we were in the second row, that when they start going down to hell, the stage like actually breaks apart
Hmm.
and then it rises up to make you look like you're being lowered in almost like an elevator shaft. And it was one of the coolest Broadway set changes I've ever seen. Like
Right?
literally, Skylar, I was looking at her and my jaw was on the floor. I was just like, what?
Yeah, it's so cool. And we really missed it last time.
Mm,
I saw it when I saw it with my sister the first time, and when we saw it, I was like, "Oh my God." And then when we're in the balcony, I was like, "Oh my God, you can't see anything." That sucks because it is so cool. So cool. And even like I like how Hades, he has those stairs. I think that's so
mm,
important, not only for the character of Hades, but for the set too. It's cool. I like that
yeah.
the instruments are on the stage
Oh,
too.
I love that the musicians are on stage. And I feel like they're also
Yeah.
kind of a part of the story. Like I noticed at the end when they're doing the raising of the glasses, like they each have a glass. They made sure to include them.
Yeah.
I also love how in the beginning, Hades and Persephone are sitting on top. It's like this
Yeah.
little like post to kind of show them
Hmm.
like just hanging out as a couple playing cards. And like
Yeah.
I just think the set design in particular is very smart. I think it's a smart way that they use the turntables.
Oh my God, it's amazing. When Orpheus and Eurydice are walking back and they're going through that forest, that dark forest.
Hmm.
And so you have the darkness, but you just see them and them walking on the turntable. I think that's so cool because you literally felt like you were in that forest with them,
Hmm.
trying to make it back home.
And even the way they designed what the end of the forest looks like the end of the tunnel when they're about
Yeah,
to recome to the human world, it's so intriguing and done
right?
so well. For me, I give sets a 10.
Me too.
Okay. So moving on to songs and music.
Wait, sorry, can we talk about the lights that go? Because that's a part of the set. And wait for me. The light,
Oh, yes.
amazing.
One of the best parts of the show,
Love it.
by
Okay.
far. That number gave me chills the first time we saw it. I didn't realize just how intricate the number was.
It's amazing. Amazing.
So songs and music. I really did not know any of the music before seeing the show, which I know is crazy because it's been out for a few years now. I know this is gonna sound horrible, but I never thought I was gonna like the show. I never thought
Yeah.
it was interesting based on videos I saw. Now, of course, I think of it very differently. But the music, like I did not realize until you see it in person just how beautiful some
Hmm.
of the arrangements and the songs are. I also felt like, I mean, I don't want to diss anybody, but I do feel like also Jordan Fisher just elevated the music to another
Yeah.
level that maybe was not on the cast album, which is why maybe I was more intrigued when we saw it in person.
His emotions and the way that he sang certain songs, even like the epics when he sang those too, really it's moving. Um, and even like he was crying at our show. And you could see
Hmm.
like you felt everything he was singing, I felt it in my soul.
You felt it, but it also made you understand the music and the
Yeah.
lyrics more. Like I don't know why. I just felt like I never understood what the show was or what it was going to be about before.
Hmm.
But like
Definitely.
the music is so beautiful, the way lyrics are written. Um, some of the arrangements are stunning. And
Definitely.
I do think the music does a great job at keeping the story moving.
I think it does a great job too in the fact that it captures how innocent Orpheus and Eurydice their love is. Like
Hmm.
how it's the beginning, and when you're so what's that word?
Encapsulated.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Encapsulated. With that individual because it's that young love. And then, he goes and writes a song and ignores her. And then
Hmm.
she's like, oh, now can I trust him? Can I not? And then she sings Flowers and all this. And it just really shows you, because you can relate it back to yourself. You can relate
Yeah,
the fact when you fall in love with somebody in the beginning, you don't look at the flaws. You just you're like so happy that somebody loves
it's
you.
true.
And then when shit hits the fan and she has no food and it's freezing, she has to take care of herself.
Hmm.
So it's very interesting how they did that. I
It's
love
very
it.
intricate.
Yeah.
I also didn't realize ahead of time that the songs are it's like kind of like a little like Hamilton, Les Mis, like the songs are
Yeah.
really the lyrics. Are really the dialogue. There's really not dialogue in the show
Yeah.
at all.
No.
It's a sung through musical.
Yeah. Even when he talks, Orpheus,
He's
even
always
if
in a
he's just talking,
melody.
he's singing. Yeah. Um, One song that always stands out to me, and I've probably talked about it like a million times, but when they sing Promises,
Hmm.
that's what gets me. Because Orpheus really would do anything for Eurydice in the fact that he can't promise her, this grand life with a big house or so much money or whatever, but he can promise to take care of her and love her the way that she
Hmm.
deserves, the way that she wants. And that
100%.
coming to where he realizes, oh, I might have lost her when she went to hell. And then he sings that. And the way Jordan Fisher's emotions during that song, I just was unwell. I was sobbing. I mean, I was just like, this is the most beautiful song I've ever heard live.
It's stunning. The whole I think all the music is stunning and for different reasons. I don't know. Some of the music to me drags on a little bit, I'm not gonna lie to you. Just in my
Mhm.
opinion. But I do love it overall. I think for me, I would rate the music an 8.
See, I have to give it a 10. I'm sorry. I know I love it, but
But that's fine.
really.
We have some differences and that's okay. I just felt like there are some moments. I think some of the harmonies and everything are great. I'm probably rating it too low. It probably should be higher. I just my instinct is to give it an 8.
I think
Like
what's
it's not an
important,
album that I go back and listen to too often.
yeah. I mean, I definitely do a lot. I think what's important is the epics. Although they are long, if you listen to them, it's telling a story because he tells the story of Hades and Persephone, and they're so important. Like they're long, but it's so important because it helps you understand what happened to their love
Hmm.
and why it went from this
Yeah.
absolutely loving relationship to what it was and
Hmm.
how to get them back together.
It's
So,
important.
yeah, that's why I'm giving it a 10.
Okay, so moving on to choreography. I actually thought some of the choreography was really cool. This ensemble works so hard throughout
Oh my
the
God, they must be
entire show.
exhausted. Yeah. No, I agree.
But no, I actually thought the choreography was really intriguing. I love when they're around the turntable and I don't know what song it is, but like they're doing like it's supposed to be like they're the workers in the factory in hell and they're like keep your head low and then they do like those arm like push.
Yeah.
Some of the choreography is just so intriguing and interesting to me. Like for me, choreography is a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's the first time that I guess maybe I'm into the newer choreography, but it's the
Like
first
more
time
like
I
modern.
can, yeah, because I can remember exactly. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And you're right, like the way that they move their bodies, they're able to like contort it. It's really cool. So I would give
Yeah.
it a 10 too.
And also, it's so interesting to me from a choreography standpoint, like just how big. I mean, they're an ensemble of five people, but like
Yeah.
you feel like there are 20 people on stage. Like the
Isn't that
movements are so
crazy?
big and eccentric, and they just like they really speak so much.
And even like
Um,
when they're moving like the furniture and stuff, it's like a dance movement to do it. It's really
mhm.
cool. They did a great job.
So we're both giving choreography a 10 out of
10
10,
out of
100%.
10. Yeah.
The book. Now, I have some thoughts with the book. I mean, listen, it's Greek mythology. I love the story. I think it's very well done. But if we're going based off of both times we saw it, I did not understand it the first time. Like,
Mm.
I turned to an intermission and I was like, can you please explain to me what this is about? Because I'm not familiar with Greek mythology ahead of time. I feel like you do need to kind of know the story a little bit before going in. Um, so for me, I mean, now that I know the book, I think it's beautiful, which is going to up my ranking a bit. But
Mm.
if I'm thinking about it in general, it does bother me that I didn't understand it the first time we went.
Yeah. See, when I went the first time, I understood it. I think because I do have that. I've been reading Greek mythologies for like a while, and I did have my sister with me, so we were kind of like
Mhm.
bouncing off, and I kind of remembered the story of Orpheus and Eurydice. But at first, I thought it was that he couldn't touch her. So I was like,
Oh, so you
when
also misunderstood it.
yeah, well, that was me misremembering. That was probably a different mythology that I was thinking of. But so
Mm.
when they touched or they kissed or something, I was like, oh my God. I was like, Lex, because my sister's name is Lexa, whatever. I was like, oh
Mhm.
my God. I was like, oh, they just kissed each other. Like, what? And she's like, no, 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 no. It's something else. And I'm not going to tell you what it is. But um, so I didn't have a hard time understanding it. I also sat in the orchestra and we were in the balcony when you saw it the first time. I don't know if that makes a difference because you were so worried about the height difference. Like, I wonder
Maybe.
if you were sitting where we were this time, if it would be the same.
I just feel like I missed so much. And I don't know if it was that. I mean, like we were saying before, like there really is no dialogue. The music is really the dialogue. So maybe it's because I wasn't familiar with the music. Was I missing things? Like I almost felt like, I mean, I know now people won't view it this way because everyone knows it, but like I almost felt like someone who went in to go see Hamilton without knowing the music ahead of time, because you really can't go into Hamilton without knowing some of that rap music, or it just goes right over your head.
Hmm.
And that's kind of how I felt the first time we went. I loved it still, but I just felt like I missed a lot. Like
Yeah,
maybe things need to be a little bit more like detailed in the book.
yeah, I guess.
Like
Um,
I didn't understand the effect that Hades and Persephone had on everyone else. And like I didn't completely understand how Hermes was involved. But now I do, which is why I would up my ranking. But like I think for me, I think the book is like a 7.
yeah, I think they explained that Hermes was a friend of Orpheus's parents.
Hmm.
So she kind of watches over him in that aspect. Um, and then you have Persephone and Hades, and they're so important to the Greek mythology world, and they really like, I mean, she runs like the seasons.
Yeah.
Like it's so important. I would give it a 9.
Okay.
I I don't know. Again, like I have a background, like I've read a lot of books, so I don't know if that helps. But at the same time, I think they did a great job.
Hmm. I agree. I think they did a great job too. I don't think it's my like favorite book in the world, and I do feel like it needed to be like I feel like even yes, they were in the balcony and it was high up, but I feel like it needs to be something that can be understood by everyone no matter where they sit.
Yeah.
Um, but it's just my thoughts. Our opinions can differ. But moving on to ambiance and crowd control, I'm tempted to give this a 0 because I felt like there was no crowd control. The first time we saw it, we had a little kid
Um,
that was kicking us behind us the entire show. and the woman next to me was on her phone the entire
Oh,
time.
I was like, what are you talking about? Because I was thinking about the last time we went and how I was like so invested. So I don't know if you want to rate it
Second
based
time,
on,
I'm doing it based on kind of like the combo of both. The second time we went,
yeah.
it was significantly better.
Yeah, because I didn't have any issues. Like the lady next to me she couldn't see, but she kept trying to like get in my area, which annoyed me.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I was still like invested.
Yeah. But also, if we're talking just like in general, I you didn't see any ushers really anywhere like during the show. You know what I mean?
I
Like
don't
I didn't
remember.
I didn't really see a lot of ushers around. Um, but also one thing in talking about ambiance, the last time we went, which was strange to me, is that there's like when you walk into the theater, usually most theaters have a little bit of music playing or like something that maybe relates to the show.
Yeah,
They had nothing. It was just
yeah, I
like
didn't
dead
like that.
silent, which felt uncomfortable to me.
Yeah, they should have like they could even have like just instrumental stuff playing. It needed something. It just needed
Hmm
like a little bit. Or they could have like jazz music playing or something. Or like,
Yeah,
yeah, you're
just
right.
something to kind of set the mood.
I would give it a 6.
Um, I think for me, I'm giving it a 4. I kind of want to go lower, but I'm not because I know it's your favorite musical.
It doesn't matter.
Okay,
Um,
I think I'm gonna go 3 then because I was really irked the first time we went, and then last time I just felt a little weird. Like I don't think there really was an ambiance at all.
yeah. Like Gatsby does a great job with ambiance.
Hmm
I like that ambiance.
Um, Moving on to casting choices and acting and pacing, which we always kind of end up talking about hand in hand, the two
Hmm.
categories. Casting choices 10 out of 10. I
We're doing this
love the
cast,
cast.
right?
I mean, we pretty much saw the same cast both times. The only difference was the first time we went, we saw it understudy for Hades.
Yeah. Yeah. Casting was so good. Jordan Fisher takes Orpheus and like he did an incredible job in not only like doing the research of Orpheus and the Greek mythology, but also showcasing like his innocence and his, how
Hmm
naive he is, and that the little things he does when he's acting, like
hmm
amazing.
I
It's
also
amazing.
like,
Maya.
especially, well, Maya was also stunning,
Yeah.
but back to Jordan for a second, like, he was the one person when we were sitting towards the back that I was like, you could feel his acting from all the way
Yeah.
up there. He was so expressive and like he consumed the room. And when we were up
Yeah.
close, like you believed he was Orpheus. His acting was some of the most outstanding acting I feel like I've ever seen on Broadway.
I
Um,
literally never, I mean, like, I felt that when we went to Outsiders too, but like
yeah,
when we were there, I was literally like, oh my God, like,
like this is Orpheus.
this is Orpheus. And like, even the way he was crying, and sometimes like we've seen shows where like actors cry and you don't feel it, and you're like, why are you crying?
Hmm
His timing on the tears and the way even the way he like sniffled, like it just made it so incredible.
hmm And even I mean, the other actors too. Maya,
Oh my God.
I think she's the perfect Eurydice.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I know this is going to sound horrible for me to say, but in some ways, I even loved hearing her sing more and the emotions more than I like Eva on the cast album.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like love the little things she did too. And you could tell like, and this is what got me, is when they were singing like love songs together, I felt like they were in love. Like,
And you can
and
tell that they feel comfortable with one another.
yes, exactly. Because th- a lot of it, and I think I looked at you at one point because they're they're touching each other a lot and like kissing, so they have to feel extremely comfortable with each other and feel safe.
Yeah, and like, I mean, and also keep in mind, like, he is married, but like, I don't know, like, you could tell like they must have had to talk ahead of time, like, how are we gonna do this and how are we gonna make it
Yeah.
realistic and be respectful of each other's boundaries.
And all I've ever known, that gets me. That got I sobbed during that. You could feel the love he has for her, and
Hmm.
that got me because that's so
Stunning.
important.
It is. I also really want to talk about the casting choice of Philip Boykin as Hades.
Mhm.
I think that was spot on casting
Really good.
choice. He was fantastic. Like he knew how to balance out being a villain because Hades is a villain. He's known as a,
Hmm.
a very famous villain, while also making the role funny, but also making you feel sympathy for the
Hmm.
character. Um, I just thought it was beautifully done. And I thought him opposite, um, I believe
Lola,
it was yeah, was it Yola?
Yola, yeah.
As Persephone was just well done casting. And also Stephanie Mills as Hermes
Oh my
is
God.
stunning. Her voice live, like she's one of those actresses that I never thought I would get to see in person. I mean, I'm
Hmm.
I'm a big fan of The Wiz, so like I love listening to her sing like as the original Dorothy.
Yeah,
And it's so stunning and like you really believe while you're watching her acting choices that she really cares about this boy and making sure that at the end of the day he's okay.
I love that. And I love the way like she would touch his face or fix his
Hmm.
hair. I loved it. And I also really liked, I think we talked about it in a past episode where we didn't love Persephone last time, but we saw the
Yeah,
Hades understudy. He was
yeah,
great. He was great. But their connection wasn't there. When we saw it this time, their connection was 100%. Like they were so
yeah.
believable together.
And I think that makes a difference. Is like, are you playing off of an understudy or are you playing off of your regular scene partner? Because I feel like when it's your regular scene partner, you build a certain connection and trust, like the same way
Trust,
that
yeah.
Maya and Jordan have done. Like you
Hmm.
believe that they're a couple. You believe that Philip and Yola are a couple.
Yeah,
So I think I actually think it made a difference.
100%. And I also just want to bring up the fates and how important they are in the story.
Hmm.
The fates are kind of like the when you have the two devils on your shoulders, the good and the bad, and they kind of speak the doubts that each character has. And it's so interesting to
Oh,
see because they talk about when Hades is trying to decide if he should just let Orpheus and Eurydice go and be a good man, but it'll look bad on him because he's the symbol of power in this world. So if he shows that he's weak in some way, what could happen and how other people view him. And that's why he doesn't ultimately just let them go. He has to give them a little bit of a twist.
see, I completely missed that as being the reasoning for why the Fates are there. I thought the Fates were always just like these three characters that kind of surround Eurydice and like kind of guide her throughout, but I didn't realize they were really there for everyone.
No, so they essentially like with Orpheus too is they spoke his doubts
Hmm.
and spoke like when they were about to make that journey, they have that song. And they spoke when the chips are down. What are you gonna do when the chips are down?
See, I
Stuff like
completely,
that.
I completely missed that. Like hearing that kind of makes me want to go back and change some of my ratings.
Oh,
I missed it. I think I'm gonna change. Like I just feel like I really like even seeing it twice. I feel like there's just so much I'm missing from the story.
yeah, no, I
I
feel like
think
they say it too, and they speak Hades' doubts in the songs.
I think I was just confused. I think I'm changing. If do you mind me going back and changing
No, it's
ratings?
fine.
I'm changing my book rating to a 6, and I think I'm changing my song rating to a 7 from an 8. Because I think I don't know. I'm missing things and it's bothering me. I feel like when you see a show twice, you shouldn't still be missing such big details like that.
Yeah, no, I picked up on it on the first try, so I don't know. I don't
But
know.
see, we talked about in the last podcast that we both also have different like very strongly different appearance like feelings on certain shows and
Yeah,
like how we view it and also our taste is different, but also I think the way we pick things up is very different as well.
yeah,
So I
it's
feel like that could
interesting.
be partially why.
Yeah. So so I just wanted to bring it up because I feel like I forgot to bring up the fates and how they are such an essential part in the storytelling.
Hmm.
Um,
Like it makes me now knowing that makes me view it a little differently. I that was the one piece of the show I was always confused about is what was the point of the fates.
yeah, and then they sing like when Eurydice makes her decision to go to hell. It's like if you were in that position, how would you feel?
Hmm.
And why are you judging her? But it's also like before Orpheus goes, they make their journey home, they sing that song where they discuss like how he has doubts. And then they come in and,
Hmm.
he sings. I forget what exactly he says, but he comes in and sings, and then they, speak his doubts of trusting that Eurydice is still behind him.
Interesting. I really miss things.
Yeah.
Huh. Do you think I missed it because I just didn't know the Greek mythology? Like,
No, no. You don't really know because I know it. I don't know the extreme detail. Like I said, I before is I thought they couldn't touch each other, but I was thinking of a
so
different one.
so why do you think like me, like my first and second time going to the show, like why do you think I'm missing these points?
I don't know.
Like just for like anyone who's going in.
I don't think you need to know Greek mythology to see Hadestown.
Do you think it's a
Um,
show like Hamilton where you kind of need to know some of the music ahead of time?
no, I
Hmm.
think because I don't know. I feel like I was more deeply invested in it.
Because you did not know the music.
Yeah,
Interesting. I view it differently. I feel like it's a show you need to know some of the music, or at least a little bit of the basis of the story first.
yeah. I don't think you do. So agree to
Interesting.
disagree.
But well, anyway, back to casting choices and acting. I will give both of those categories a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 10.
I think they were very well done. Are there any, before we get into calculating our final rankings, are there any final thoughts you have about the show?
I think I would say is everybody needs to see it. Everyone needs to see Jordan Fisher as Orpheus and Maya as Eurydice. I think their connection and their storytelling is very vital. Um, I don't know who is going to take over for Orpheus when he leaves, but
It's
it's going
gonna
to be
be
a
sho
hard,
it's gonna be big shoes to fill.
yeah. And it's a beautiful story. I mean, it's tragic. There's always a lesson to learn with Greek mythology, so just remember that. It's not going to be a happy ending. It's not going to be whatever, but there's always a deeper meaning to why the story is that way and how you can relate it back into your own life.
I'm thinking about it too. I also missed the message the first time we went. I actually asked you also what was like the point.
Yeah,
Remember that?
no.
I did ask you that. Huh. I just think it
Yeah.
shows we're different people.
I like the fact that I was able to take some of the themes and relate it into the way the way I want somebody to love me is the way that Orpheus loved Eurydice, and that he would do anything to make her happy and content.
Hmm.
But also
You,
the fact that you need to learn to trust your
yeah.
partner wholeheartedly and be able to be like, okay, I'm trusting your word.
Hmm. I remember you did say that at the end of the show, the last time we went. You turned to me and you were like, Michelle, I want that.
Yeah, it's very important. And I
Hmm.
think that's why I love the show so much is because I took a bunch of these themes and was able to kind of find a personal connection and find a personal meaning that I'm going to hold for the rest of my life. I'm going to hold the fact that I want this or that I need to really trust somebody that much, like, and whatever.
Interesting.
But
Oh, I
yeah,
think
so
that's beautiful. I mean, I'm happy that you love it, like to the point that you do. I think it's great when
yeah.
you find a show like that.
Yeah, I think it's important when you can't stop thinking about it.
100%. See, that again is how we differed. Like you're thinking about it constantly. For me, I like the show a lot, but is it one of my constant thinking about shows? No.
Yeah.
I think that's how we differ.
Yeah.
But I'm still happy we saw it twice, and I'm really happy that we saw it the second time significantly closer. Like I feel like I
Yeah.
needed it. Like we left the first time, I didn't feel satisfied. Like I needed to go back.
Yeah. Because also like the emotions, like I just felt like we were in the show and I was feeling all the emotions that they were feeling. Like I didn't cry that hard when we were in the balcony or when I went the
Yeah.
first time. There's
You
something on this
sobbed
time.
the
I
second
was
time.
so unwell, like, and the weirdest things got me crying. Wait for Me got me crying. All I've ever known made me cry.
Hmm.
When, Orpheus goes behind, they're laying down and she sings, she gets up and like, say that you love me forever, whatever. And then he wakes up and goes behind her. And like, I just lost it. It's just so beautiful.
Very well done.
Yeah.
So we have now reached the point of the podcast where I need to sit and calculate these rankings. So cue the Jeopardy music and cue Skylar ranting.
So I've been ranting this whole time. So I'll just continue to go. The one thing I would say with Hadestown is after you see it, definitely like take a moment to kind of remember the themes, remember and relate it back. Because once you do that, it will stick with you forever. And like I was going back and listening to songs and like really deep diving into like the meaning behind it. And that's when I fell absolutely in love with the show. Promises, I want it to be played at my wedding. I think like I think it's just so beautiful. Like you don't need a big house. You don't need so much money. You just need somebody there who will love you forever and who will, you'll have your basic necessities, but you have that love to live a fulfilled life. And that's what I think everyone should take from this is that you don't need everything in the world. You just need that love.
I think that is
That's Skylar,
beautiful. Beautiful. Gorgeous.
my
Well
little
said.
TED talk on Hadestown.
Yeah, some of my favorite parts of these podcasts are your little TED Talks while I'm calculating the
Yeah,
figures at the end.
they're actually really funny.
They really are. So we have the rankings. The results are in. May I get a drum roll, please?
That was terrible.
That's a horrible drum roll. Um, we both were like the okay.
Uh,
Skylar has rated the show a 9.25 out of
that
10,
makes sense.
and I rated it an overall 8 out of 10, which I think is very
That's
fair.
good.
And that I think if someone asked me what would I rate the show, I think I would say an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's fair.
Uh, yeah, I think it's fair, and I'm very satisfied with those ratings.
Me too.
It's definitely higher than Water for Elephants, which was the first show we ever rated.
Yeah, and that's closing.
Yeah, which I'm stunned because they just changed the casting too.
Yeah, that's kind of sad. But I mean, it
Yeah.
has a lot of flaws, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's definitely not my favorite show in the world. But
Oh,
if you're interested in hearing about that, you got to go a few podcasts back to hear why we rated it the way we did and what our thoughts on it were.
yeah.
And
I mean,
we also have rankings out right now for Angeliette and Wicked, so make sure you go and you tune into those old podcasts.
yeah. And we highly recommend you seeing Hadestown. If one thing, and then if you do see it and you want to talk about it, please DM us because I have really just Michelle to talk about it, and I would love to talk about anything about Hadestown because
Yeah, and
really it's one of those musicals I feel like I could blab on for like 2 hours.
very true. And also, I'm not a good enough buddy to talk about it with. As you can tell, I'm not as much in love with it as Skylar is. I do like it, but she needs a love buddy.
Yeah. So Definitely message us.
Definitely message us. So speaking of messaging us, once again, we can be reached on both TikTok and Instagram. On TikTok, it's at Love Letters to Bway with one Y, and on Instagram, it's at Love Letters to Bway with two Ys because one Y wasn't available, and I say it on every podcast.
And business
And
inquiries.
oh, yes. For business inquiries, don't forget you can reach us at loveletterstobroadway@gmail.com. Once again, that's at loveletterstobroadway@gmail.com. We can be reached at all hours of the day, 24/7. Please reach out.
Please. Hadestown. Come on. Your girl.
Yeah, hook Skylar up. Give her a
I do
little
have a rose
sponsorship.
tattoo. I do have a
Mm-hmm.
rose tattoo that I forgot about. Like, we were sitting at Hadestown. I was like, oh my God, I have a rose tattoo.
Yeah. And just so
Yeah.
you know, it's like a huge tattoo on her
It's
arm.
huge. It goes, what is this, my forearm?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the whole width of it.
But yeah, so any business inquiries, like feel free to reach out. We would love to make a connection. And hopefully, we'll have some fun things in store for you guys for some future podcasts. We already have a few things that we're hopefully working on. And as Skylar and I said, maybe we'll do something a little special for episode 10, which is coming
Yeah,
up shortly
exciting. Next week is 10.
next week. So let's see what we have in store for you guys. Well, anyway, once again, I am Michelle.
And I'm Skylar.
And let's see if we can do this. We mess it up every week. Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
We are
We are signing
signing
off
off
on
on
our
our
ninth
ninth love
love
letter
letter to
to Broadway.
Broadway. Oh, it's so
Thanks
bad
for
every time.
listening. Thanks for
Thanks for
listening, guys.
listening. Have a
We'll see
great
you
week,
next week.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.